company, the late Dato David Al-Asang, a banker and industrialist from Hong Kong, the one who created Malayan Flour Mills Berhad, founded in 1961. The company had its 40 million ringgit modern flour mills opened at Lumut Perak on October 15, 1966. The late Tunku Abdul Rahman, the first Prime Minister of Malaysia himself, officiated the opening of Malayan Flour Mills Berhad. Next is the nature of the business. Malayan Flour Mills Berhad initially concentrated exclusively on producing animal feeds and flour to meet the rising domestic demand. It grew the business by erecting more flour and feed mills around Malaysia in the 90s, 80s and 1990s. Then diversified the product by venturing into other food-related business such as pasta manufacturing, and started its own retail chain on eateries known as the Chicken Rice Shop, and very well liked today. In 2003, Malayan Flour Mills Berhad was listed on the Bursa Malaysia. As we move into 2010, the business kept growing both domestically and abroad.
From this table of comprehensive income, year-to-year change analysis of 2021 and 2022, the sales and gross profit is increased in 2022, which 174,919,000 and 3,168,000 each. If we look at the profit of the year, also increased in 2022 by 105,715,000 compared to 2021, that is decreased by 35,621,000. It is happened because in 2021, the administrative expenses increased by 5,092,000 ringgit compared to 2020 and 2022. Next, year-to-year change analysis of financial position for the year 2021 and 2022. From the table of the total assets, most of the items is decreased in both year 2021 and 2022, while the total non-current assets in 2021 is positive but decreased in 2022 by 11.75% compared to the items of the current assets in 2022 that increased by 225,733,000. In terms of total equity, is increased in both year 2021 by 8,920,000 and in 2022 by 89,366,000. The total non-current liabilities in 2022 decreased by 36,324,000 compared to 2021, that is increased from 2020 by 124,722,000, whereas the total current liabilities shows in 2021, it is increased by 52,524,000, while in 2022 also increased by 22,788,000.
Analysis of statement of comprehensive income shows that MFN's profit for the fiscal year went up by 195.13% because sales went up from 105.76% in 2021 to 142.5% in 2022. This shows that MFN is doing better financially and making more money. This shows that the company is able to bring in more customers than before. Also, the cost of sales went up by 42.79%, which shows that the customers are ready to pay more for Malayan's flour product because they are the best. A look at the index number financial position statement. The company's intangible assets have grown by 348.31% by 2022. This is because the company has bought or made new intangible assets such as patents, trademarks, or software that add the value of the company. Aside from that, investment in companies have also gone from 43.93% to 82.22%, which is a small rise. It could mean that the company's strategy is to grow its business through subsidiaries or buying more shares in companies it already has. Also, the overall amount of equity and liabilities has gone down by 7.93%.
So in my part, I will present the last form of comparative analysis, which is the common size. Based on the income statement of Malayan Flour Mills Berhad, the profit increased from 2020 to 2022, and the highest profit made in 2022, which is Rm 678,546,000. The items that have significant change include other income, which increased by 14.03% from 2020 to 2021, and slightly decreased by 3.99% in 2022. The next item is fair value loss on revaluation of contingent consideration receivable, which recorded Rm 77,867,000 in 2021, which was an increase of 15.46%. And the last item is provision for profit guarantee of Rm 50 million, which increased by about 2.98%. The next common variable for the balance sheet of Malayan Flour Mills Berhad, from the balance sheet for 2020 to 2022, the first item is investment in subsidiaries, which has decreased by 15.92% from 2020 to 2021 and still decreased by 2.18% in 2022, while investment in joint ventures increased from 12.89% to 38.47% in 2021.
In the current asset, the trade and other receivables including derivative decreased by 28.27% between 2020 and 2021 and increased from 8.80% to 20.22% in 2022. Inventories also decreased from only 3.67% to 8.60% in 2021 and further to 11.54% in 2022. In liabilities and equity, loans and borrowing increased by 7.7% in 2021, which equivalent to RM 190 million and decreased to 85 million in 2022. The next item that is showing significant change is trade and other payables including derivative, which decreased from 11.36% in 2020 to 2.91% in 2022.
In 2022, the company's liquidity has improved. It's a good sign that the company's ratio are 1.01 times in 2022 than it was in 2031 when it was only 0.67 times. This means that the company can pay its short-term debts with its current asset in 2022 since its current ratio is more than 1. Cash and cash equivalents went down by 58.78% from 1 year to the next in 2022, and trade and other payables went down by 67.67%. This means that the company is using cash to pay its current debts.
From the table shown, we can see that the company is doing well as it is able to generate profit with its resources. The total asset turnover has increased from 0.60% in 2021 to 0.77 times in 2022, which means the company can earn 77 cents for every RM1 ringgit of its asset in 2022. For the inventory turnover ratio, the ratio has slightly increased by 0.01% in 2022, but the figure is still high, which shows that Malayan flour mills may be selling its products slower than it should and overstocking its inventories.
Next is solvency ratio. From the ratio above, it is shown that the level of debt in Malayan Flour Mills Berhad improved from the previous year. The debt ratio of the company dropped from 44.43% in 2021 to 41.75% in 2022, demonstrate that the company is less reliant on borrowing to finance the company asset, which is a good sign because if the debt ratio is above 50%, it will increase the risk of dissolution due to increase of risk and inability to pay debt when it is due. A highly positive trend is also seen in the company's debt to equity ratio, which dropped from 79.96% in 2021 to 71.67% in 2022. It demonstrates that Malayan Flour Mills Berhad prefer to use equity as a source of funding rather than increasing the company debt burden. Malayan Flour Mills Berhad can improve its leverage situation by having the best possible combination of finance sources. Thus, the cost of capital may be reduced.
Next is profitability ratio. This ratio comprises of gross profit margin and return on assets. A decrease in gross profit margin from 14.68% in 2021 to 11.36% in 2022 may raise concerns for the company, and it suggests that the company's profitability from its core business activities has diminished. However, an increase in ROA from 1.10% in 2021 to 7.07% in 2022 is generally viewed as positive.
Let's start with the company's strength. A company's strength can be that it sells a lot of different things. In 2016, 68% and 32% of its income came from flour and chicken respectively. It shows that they have more chances to grow their business because they can meet multiple customers' needs at once. The second is MFM has a big network of distributors with a capacity of 1.9k tons per day. Malayan Flour is second in Malaysia. They made it possible for its goods to be sold in places all over Malaysia and all over the world. Last but not least, we'll talk about Malayan Flour weaknesses. MFM are too dependent on external factors. Wheat prices can go up and down because it's hard to predict the weather. In March 2022, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine caused the wheat price to increase. The company's ability to make money and do well financially can be affected by these changes in prices.
Move to the solution and recommendation. A suggestion that can be taken to improve Malayan Flour Mills Berhad on external factor dependence or supplier diversification and cost efficiency and optimization. By using variety of supplier for the company wheat and grains, the company can lessen the reliance on a single supply, and the danger of supply disruption brought on by things like weather or geopolitical event can be reduced. To increase cost effectiveness, concentrate on optimizing an internal operation, investigate ways to improve efficiency, cut waste, and streamline procedure across the whole supply and delivery chain. The company can lessen the effect of increased input costs, such as the price of wheat and grain, by identifying areas for improvement.
From all the analysis, it can be concluded that the company performance is good enough to cover its obligations through the efficient use of current assets. But it would be better if the company optimized the use of resources to improve its efficiency.